Council Redevelopment Agency regular meeting of May 10 to order, please. Please stand for the pledge. Ready to begin?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. Lord, we ask that you please help guide us to make the wise decision for this community, and we hope that you touch each one of us, and whatever brain cells we may have lost, you help restore them, that we make good decisions. And I'd also ask that you please extend your hand and touch Joe Evans as he's recuperating in the hospital from his illness, and we ask that you help him to a speedy recovery. And that we ask your name. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Davis.
Present.
Hutchins.
Present.
Candia.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Martina.
Present.
Mayor King.
Present. Declaration of conflicts of interest. We don't see any. We'll go to item 6, ceremonial matters, and we have a proclamation for Asthma Awareness Month, which is quite appropriate for me right now. I think we have Mrs. Arnett. Please step up. Seemed like you were just here. We did this, huh?
Short year.
By golly. Well, Bernice is our resident nurse at the school, and so this is a proclamation of the mayor of the city of Newman. Whereas asthma has reached epidemic proportions in the United States, affecting about 25 million people. And whereas asthma is the leading cause of childhood hospitalizations, long-term illness, school absenteeism, accounting for more than 11 million missed school days and nearly 15 million missed days of work each year. Whereas each year 1.75 million Americans are rushed to emergency room, nearly 500,000 are hospitalized, and nearly 3,500 die from asthma. And whereas in 2007, California Health Interview Survey estimates that approximately 65,000 people in Stanislaus County have been diagnosed with asthma, of which 16,000 are children, more than 1 out of 10. And over 45,000 residents, including about 12,000 children, are currently coping with asthma. And whereas Stanislaus County ranks in the worst 25 counties in the United States for some air quality measures. Whereas the Health Services Agency has established an asthma coalition with over 90 representatives from community providers, health plans, American Cancer Society, American Lung Association, county and city schools, and the Central California Asthma Project to implement the school-based asthma program developed in the coalition's 2004 strategic plan for asthma in Stanislaus County. Whereas the mission of Stanislaus County Asthma Coalition is to create an asthma-friendly community by promoting awareness, education, management, and prevention. And whereas the Health Services Agency, the Asthma Coalition, and the United States Environmental Protection Agency are encouraging Americans to identify and reduce their exposure to environmental triggers in homes, schools, and incorporate environmental controls into their asthma management plans. Whereas the City of Newman recognizes the need to raise asthma awareness, therefore now I, Ed Caton, Mayor, on behalf of City Newman and the Newman City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of May as Asthma Awareness Month in the City of Newman and commend this observance to all of our residents. Bernice?
Thank you
Please.
very much. Once again, the year has gone by very quickly, hasn't it? Mayor Caton, council members, I would like to thank you again for your support in this very, very important matter. As a school nurse, of course, my job is to keep our students healthy, safe, and in school. Through the coalition, we've been able to educate and help families in managing the asthma issues that they have with parents and with the children. As you know, we do have the asthma flag program in the schools, which we put into play approximately 6 years ago, my first year as the school nurse. And proud to say that the Stanislaus County Asthma Coalition always mentions that Newman was the first district to fly the flags. We sponsored our own flags, and we had the first ones going. Now with the new school opening in August, I am proud to say that I need to go out and buy some more flags so we can fly those flags over at Barrington. But I profoundly appreciate your support in this and in helping me get the word out. And by this proclamation, this does help solidify the importance of keeping all of us healthy. Asthma can be very a very serious condition with people, and so we want to be proactive and keep teaching. I start with my Kinder Roundup, and my parents learn about the flag program, and the little people learn about the flag program because I want them to be fully aware of it. So once again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Bernice. Any questions, Bernice? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Okay, we'll move to item 7, items from the public, non-agenda item. Any member of the public wish to address the council? Seeing none, we'll move to item 8, consent calendar. A is waive all readings of ordinances and resolutions except by title. B is approval of the warrants. C is approval of the minutes of April 12, 2011 regular meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to remove item warrant numbers 39112 and 39182 for separate consideration, please.
Okay. Regarding the warrants, item number 39112 and 39182 will be removed for separate action. Council direction on remaining?
I'd make a motion, we accept the consent calendar.
I second the
A motion and a second to accept and approve the consent calendar, except for warrants number 39112 and 39182. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, council direction on items, on warrant numbers 39112 and 39182. Separate action. And I believe Councilman Hutchins is asking for those be acted on separately because he has a conflict.
Yes, I'm on the board of directors for
Yeah.
this thing, so.
I'll make a motion those 2 vouchers be approved.
Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries with 1 abstention. Okay, we'll go to item 9, public hearings. Adopt resolution number 2011, next to number, resolution declaring the existence of a public nuisance under ordinance number 95-4. Chief,
Evening, Mayor, council members. Before you tonight is more nuisance abatements. It's that time of year. We started this list 3 weeks ago, and there was 20 on there. We're now down to 5. All property owners were informed, given multiple letters. They were given the notice to have a public hearing. Before you tonight, we have the following addresses, which will be 637 Banff, 744 Balsam, 1563 P Street, 1549 P Street, and 1573 Canyon Creek. I'll bring it back to you for possible consideration of further action, and I'll answer any questions at this time.
any questions of the chief before we open up public hearing?
Just one quick question. I assume then that these are ones that we go out on, are probably gonna have to go on and clean up ourselves.
That is correct.
Does anybody know our recovery rate on when we have to do it ourselves?
We actually have a pretty high recovery right now. We put a lien on the property. When the property taxes are paid, we get it. We just, I think we got about $14,000 just not too long ago, so
Oh, okay.
we're pretty high compliance, so.
Any other questions? I'll open the public hearing. Anybody have the wish to address the council? Now's the time to do it. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Bring it back to council for direction.
I so move that we adopt resolution number 2011, next number, declaring the existence of a public nuisance under ordinance number 95-4.
Second the motion.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, chief.
Thank you.
Item B, first reading and introduction of ordinance number 2010, next to number, an ordinance amending Title V zoning and accompanying zoning maps of the city of Newman in conformance with the 2030 general plan. Hi, Steph.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Before you is a proposed citywide rezoning for conformance with the general plan. I'd like to begin with a brief background of events leading up to today. In 1992, the general plan and accompanying land use map were adopted by the city. In 1997, the current zoning code and map were adopted. However, for reasons unknown to current staff, 44 parcels remained unrezoned. Like they were supposed to be rezoned and they never were. The city adopted the current 2030 general plan in 2007. The 2030 general plan land use map is very similar to the 1992 general plan map, except for all the new areas the city has added to the sphere and to the city limits. And this map also calls for the previously mentioned 44 parcels to be rezoned, in addition to another 133 parcels, which are primarily the medium-density lots in the Sherman Ranch subdivision. In 2010, the city's housing element was certified by the state, and that document also calls for the rezoning of a number of parcels. In an effort to notify the public and be as transparent as possible, city staff notified all potentially affected property owners of the rezoning back in October for 2 public meetings, and these meetings were to serve as informational meetings to let them know what the rezoning process was about, why we were taking it on, and what did that mean for their particular properties. On March 17, 2011, the Planning Commission held a public hearing and recommended the approval of the zone change to the City Council. I have some slides here. This is the current zoning map that we have in place. And all of the outlined areas are the parcels proposed to be rezoned. And a number of these rezonings are also a little bit of housekeeping. For example, the PG&E lot was zoned industrial. We're rezoning that as a public, quasi-public, it's a utility. So it's really cleaning up the land use map. Can we go to the next slide? So this is a map that identifies all of the parcels proposed to be rezoned. It's a little easier to see because it's just a simple contrast. Can we go to the next one? Of all these, everything with the crosshatch was identified in 1992. So a lot of these parcels have been on the table to be rezoned for quite some time. Based upon comments received throughout the process and at the Planning Commission hearing, the Planning Commission did recommend the possibility of creating a professional office district in the 1000 block of N Street, and that is this portion right here where it's currently residential adjacent to Highway 33. Staff has begun some research on that type of zoning. The proposed 177 parcels all vary in zoning as seen before, and they are all currently inconsistent with our general plan. To address the existing medium-density development in Sherman Ranch, staff has developed the proposed R2S zoning designation, which means medium-density single-family. That way, those lots wouldn't be developed into duplexes, such as is allowed in the R2 district in other parts of town. All proposed zoning amendments are consistent with the general plan and are situated for that type of use. Common with rezones, some properties would be considered legal nonconforming because they would then be inconsistent with the new zoning designation. As long as these properties are not abandoned, extensively altered or enlarged or destroyed, these properties may remain indefinitely. Should any of those items occur, the property owner would have to obtain either a variance or a use permit depending on the case. In conclusion, the citywide rezone is to obtain zoning consistency with the general plan as required by state law. Staff recommends that the City Council open the public hearing, introduce and read the first reading of the ordinance, and provide staff direction regarding the development of a professional office district for the 1000 block of N Street. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Stephanie before we open up public hearing? Okay, public hearing is now open. Anybody wish to address the council? Seeing none, we'll close public hearing. Bring it back to the council for direction.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to introduce ordinance number 2010, or is it 2011?
Oh, did I put 10 there
2011.
somewhere?
2011, okay. Next number, an ordinance amending Title V zoning and accompanying zoning maps of the city of Newman in conformance with the 2030 general plan.
Then a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you. And just a follow-up question,
Sure.
would the council like me to look into that professional office district for that block?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Michael? Yeah.
Yeah, some of the concerns that the residents voiced is those properties in back that face Main Street and they're residential in nature and they're going to stay residential in nature. They thought instead of like it could be a tire shop, it could be a fast food restaurant, it could be something like that. They thought, you know what, if it was professional office and kind of limited to daylight hour type uses, it might be more appropriate based upon those residential uses on the
Sure.
on the west side of the alley. So,
Yeah. That makes sense.
you know, it'll still be commercial. It'll still provide a valuable service to our residents. It is on the highway. It gets that exposure, so there is a lot of validity to moving it forward with the professional office district.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Steph. Item 10, regular business. A is adopt resolution number 2011, next to number, resolution initiating proceedings for the levy and collection of assessments for the lighting and landscape district, maintenance district for fiscal year 2011, 2012, and ordering preparation of the engineer's report. Garner.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. As you stated, the item for you tonight is consider adopting a resolution initiating the proceedings for the levy and collection assessments for the lighting and landscape maintenance district for the fiscal year 2011-12, and ordering and preparation of the engineer's report. Pursuant to the Landscape and Lighting Act of 1972, the city of Newman has 15 zones within the district in various locations throughout the city. These zones represent the general nature, location, and extent of improvements that are maintained, including the weekly maintenance, operation, and servicing of all public landscaping improvements, consisting of the pruning, trimming, weed abatement, sidewalks, block wall maintenance, plant materials, pathways, irrigation systems, lighting systems, and graffiti removal. As required by the Landscape and Lighting Act of 1972, there is one resolution before you tonight to consider initiating the proceedings for the levy and collection of these assessments and ordering the preparation of the assessment engineer's report. The next steps in the process would be to develop the engineer's report, bring that back before council for consideration, then declare the intention to levy and collect the assessments and conduct a public hearing for the process. Therefore, staff recommends City Council adopt a resolution initiating proceedings for the levy and collection of the assessments for the Lighting and Landscape Maintenance District for fiscal year 2011-12 and ordering the preparation of the engineer's report. At this time, if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer for you.
Any questions of Gardner? See none? Council direction.
I'll make a motion, we adopt resolution number 2011, next number. A resolution initiating proceedings for the levy and collection of assessment for the lighting and landscape maintenance district for fiscal year 2011-2012 and ordering preparation of the engineer's report.
The motion, is there a second?
I second that motion.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item B is adopt resolution number 2011, next to number, a resolution authorizing Ed Caton as mayor and Michael Holland as city clerk to record a notice of completion for the downtown plaza project. Garner again.
Good evening, Mayor. Thank you. The item before you tonight is consider adopting a resolution approving the Newman Downtown Plaza project and ordering recording and notice of completion for the project. We put together a little slideshow to kind of showcase the project before we get into the background and analysis on the project. So here's what we started with. Go ahead, Mike. Here's what we started with back in last summer, June. This is what this lot looked like. And then we fast forward to today. This is what we end up with. Next one. Here's what it looked like from looking from the theater up above. And we fast forward today, and we have a nice showcased plaza. Next. Here's a view looking from down below, ground level, and then we look at the view today during the Christmas celebration, which most everybody was present at. Here's another view looking from the Highway 33 side during construction, and here's what we look like today with all the landscaping in, and the flowers are starting to bloom. You can see down along Highway 33. Some of the key features of the project, the tree, and it is growing. It is filling out. We've gotten about 6 to 8 inches of growth on it already. Another key feature was the stage area, which is going to be used on our grand opening. We're going to have a live band up on the stage this year. And here's the key feature of the project, which gives us our nice entrance into our plaza. On May 25th, 2010, City Council approved a contract with the lowest bidder for the project, which is Perma Green Hydro Seeding. Construction was completed on the project on April 15th of this year. There were 3 change orders approved for the project with a total cost increase in cost of $28,725.42. Included with your staff report is a more detailed description of these change orders. Therefore, the total project cost increased by $28,000. This represents about a 1.5% increase in construction costs. On a normal project, you can expect between 8 to 12% increase in project cost, depending on the complexity of the project and the dollar value. This one ranks a little higher. It should be around 10 to 12%, which would be about $200,000 to $240,000 in potential increase in cost of the project. Working cooperatively with the construction team, the project manager, and the contractor and city staff, we were able to keep that cost down to $28,000. A final walkthrough, so the final cost of the project was $1,975,839.42. Final walkthrough was completed with the city engineer and the project manager. 3 punch list items are still remaining on this. One is we have seen some rust developing on some of the tree guards that were installed as part of the project, and the contractor already has a commitment from the supplier to come out and take care of that and repowder coat those. I have an email saying they'll be in probably the end of next week. The second one was the top of the drinking fountain. During the walkthrough, we noticed that it had a lot of pitting in it instead of being a smooth finish, and there was some rust starting to form on that one, but the base was fine. And so the contractor has a new top coming for that. We're expecting the end of next week, maybe the week after, that will be delivered. And then one last item that was a significant item was I noticed that there were some color variations, and the city engineer agreed that there were some color variations. We called the contractor. Their supplier for the color came out and looked at that and said, can you give it a little more time? It'll even out over time with the hot weather and the cold weather and the rains we've had. And we poured concrete from September and through December, that probably has a lot to do with that. So with that said, those are the 3 remaining items on the list. There is a retention in the amount of $98,565.44 that still remain on the books. This is amount sufficient to cover these items. If we had to completely replace the colored concrete, replace the tree guards, and replace the top of the fountain, it's more than adequate to cover that. Therefore, the retention will not be released until city is satisfied that these items have been remedied to our satisfaction. Therefore, staff recommends City Council approve a resolution approving the City of Newman Downtown Plaza project and recording a notice of completion.
How long are they asking us to wait, Garner?
They would like us to wait about 30 to 60 days till we get a good 30 days of heat to dry out the tops of the concrete and the bottom. The concrete has a sealer on it, so it's kind of holding the moisture in a little bit, and they're saying that that's more likely what has a lot to do with it. We have seen one of the 2 areas, which is mainly on the east parking lot areas. There's the east T parking lot that comes out, and there's the east walkway along the grass area. Those are where we're noticing the color variations. One of them has started to even out a little bit. One area's lightened up, another one's kind of darkened up, and it seems to be what they're saying. We do have a letter from the concrete manufacturer saying that that's probably what's going to happen. It will even out. Knowing the contractor and his great record that he has, they will take care of the project. And they also are still working on our bathroom projects. So we still have them here in our city working as well.
Good. All right. Any other questions of Garner?
No, I just like this. What can we say? All the pictures show it, it's like downtown Newman.
It looks great.
It does look great. The only comment that has nothing to do with us, and we can't see it, is I have people coming up and asking me about the lot. The dirt one. I still have people come, well, why aren't you guys doing anything with that one? You can explain it over. It's not ours. We can't do anything with it. But that's the only thing that it'd be nice somewhere along the line if we could figure out a way to get that somehow and do something with it.
Yeah, we're trying to work with her. We're just trying to get her, the owner, to sell it to someone who wants to develop. Put a nice building on there. That would be the highest and best use. When we look at it, it doesn't really add any value to the plaza per se. You couldn't get any more cars in there if you would have broke it in, and it didn't work for us based upon design work. But I think it'd be an excellent opportunity for a retail space or some kind of commercial space on there and be on the plaza. So hopefully we'll find someone who wants to develop that spot. And I think shortly, as the economy starts to turn around and people start seeing this plaza and the activity goes on there, I think before long that'll go up there. We just told her if the property owner would be willing to put a sign up that says for sale, we could help her market it. But until the property owner actually takes steps to doing that, we cannot market someone's property that's not currently on the market. So.
Does she have an intention does she want to sell, or she just wants to hold on to it as an investment thinking it's going to make her a bunch of money?
Well, I think if someone came with the right price, obviously you should sell it. But I know we've also addressed with her the possibility of just putting grass in for now. And so I think there's some ongoing discussions with that too, and maybe that would help. Sometimes you have to put a little bit into it to show potential buyers the opportunities there. So we'll continue to work with her. I know Garner staff has talked to her a couple different times, so we'll keep you informed as to where that's going. But we're definitely working towards trying to get that developed.
Well, the only good thing is we have control, because the thing is we don't want something to go there that it's going to ruin our plaza.
Correct.
Why is she reluctant to put a for sale sign on it?
I don't know. I don't know if her schedule just hasn't allowed her to do that. I know she's been on vacation a little bit, so that may have played into it. So, but we'll continue to let her know that we're willing to help you market that property and try to find the appropriate buyer, and we'll go from there.
Very good. Thank you. Council direction.
I move we adopt resolution 2011, next number, a resolution authorizing Ed Caton as mayor and Michael Holland as city clerk to record a notice of completion for the downtown plaza project.
The motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Garner.
Thank you, sir.
Item 11, Supervisor Jim DeMartini, you're up. Sorry it took so long.
Good evening, Mayor Caton, council members. Actually, Mayor, most of the cities would not even be through their consent calendar yet. Think of one in particular. See, the only thing I have to talk to you tonight is the healthcare task force, which there's been quite a few things done on it. We met last month in Gustine, and on the dais I left for each of you. This is the final flyer that will be sent out by email a few times for the summit and at the Newman's West Side Theater. Our speakers are Dr. Alicia Epstein from Emmanuel Hospital and our county public health doctor is Dr. John Walker. And they're both pretty good speakers, so that should be a good program. We have vendors that we've lined up 11 different vendors inside the theater like we did last year, mostly fitness places. And then we provide the program and lunch for free. And then our ag commissioner will be coming out doing the official weigh-ins with the scale. Newman is expected to have a team this year, as along with Patterson and Gustine. We have some of the rules. You'd see this is also on your dais there, and this is how we expect to do things. Basically, it's going to be the same as last year, with the only exception is that if one of the members is not there on the way out, we will penalize the team rather than disqualifying them. We had a case last year where there was one team who's had a member that got in an automobile accident and was unable to come to the way off. The whole team got disqualified. So we thought we'd work out a penalty instead of just disqualifying everybody to try and make it fair so everybody could participate. So this is well on its way. I think we're going to start doing some advertising. We're all set with the West Side Theater and our speakers. The lunch will be provided by Blues Cafe in Patterson, and we're all set. We just need the teams. So also of interest, this is our new card for the West Side Walks. I've also left one of these up for you. I've contacted all 3 school districts, and Newman was the first one to respond, and they were very nice, and they just had a staff approval of it to use the track to walk on Wednesdays. We will begin on June 8th and do it every Wednesday up to and including July 27th. I have a presentation to make tomorrow to the Gustine School Board to get approval to use their track to walk, and I have an appointment in Patterson with the superintendent next week. And since there were no problems with this last year and it was fairly popular, I don't anticipate that any of the school districts will turn us down. So then we'll give away some prize at a random drawing. This is the same design we used last year. We just updated the dates, and so we like to have anybody in the community who would like to come out and get some exercise and walk around the track. The school districts will turn on the lights as needed. We begin at 7 o'clock in the evening and go until 9 o'clock. So I should have everything wrapped up this week on that. And our next meeting is on June 16th in Patterson. We went down Highway 33, ended up in Newman, now we'll start back in Patterson. So June 16th. So everything's coming along pretty well. We have a group that's really working well together. I've lost pretty much all my county staff in helping me with this, but the task force is just doing more things than ourselves, and we'll do just fine. Got all the stuff that was just printed up just a few days ago too. So that's my
Great.
report for tonight.
Any questions of Jim? Well, Jim, thanks for continuing to spearhead this and keep it going. It's been fun as we participate. So I'm sure that Newman will have a team. I know Mike's diligently working on it. So any council members who wish to participate, please contact
Yeah,
Michael.
and
he'll
we
sign
will
you.
have other teams too. Remind you, last year the Newman Crows Landing School District was the winner.
Yeah, they cheated.
Yeah, well, that's what you said about Gustine, who won
They
the.
cheated too.
So maybe this will be your chance. Patterson has consistently come in last each year. So you have done fairly well.
Yeah. Okay, Jim.
Okay, thank you.
All righty. We'll move on to item 12, items from the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Just a reminder that on May 21st will be our Plaza grand opening ribbon cutting event. Right now, that's scheduled from 12 to tentatively 4 p.m. We do have a schedule of events that will take place during the first hour, and then we'll have a band for about an hour and a half or 2 hours after that. So, if you have any questions or anything, I know our Public Works Director Garner's working a lot with the Chamber on that, and also the Theater Foundation. So, the mayor and supervisor brought up the Biggest Loser contest again. Just a reminder: talk to Mike Meyer if you're interested in that. We'd like to put together a winning team. And we've always put forth a great effort, but just can't get over that hump. So hopefully this year that'll help us. If you have not been by the dog park lately, there's progress going up. The fence is halfway up, and I think the other half's supposed to be up shortly. So it's starting to take some shape out there. So if you get a chance to maybe take a look at that, it's actually coming out really nice. The council had asked me to send a letter to Mr. Nagel regarding the radio station. I put that on your desk for you guys to review. If you have any questions, you're free to bring them forward to me, and we'll see if we can't get some answers for you. Also, as one of your handouts, we passed out HDL is a consulting company that does they help us recover sales tax that's being misreported or underreported, and we brought out a flyer for you to see of how much we've been collecting on that. And as you can see, we had been missing out on a substantial amount of money that we're now collecting. The card lock facility was not part of that, so that's a different one. And looks like that's coming to an end and substantially in our favor. So
Good.
That's good news for all of us. A reminder that Friday, May 27th, the city offices will be closed due to a city furlough. That'll be that. On May 18th, Garner and Lance, our chief wastewater operator and public works superintendent, and I will be going up to Sacramento to go meet with the staff of the Regional Water Quality Control Board, trying to negotiate some new requirements. We have some ideas on how we think they should be placing those requirements on us. And in the past, the state agency have arbitrarily picked a day in the future and said, by this day you're going to have something done. You know, lots of times that doesn't make any sense. And so why not push it out another 20 years or so? Our proposal is using EDUs, which is the equivalent to dwelling units or water connections, as a measure, because we have to develop a finance plan to expand not only our wastewater side but our water side as well. And if we're going to have to sell bonds, they want to see our source of revenue. So, and that's all tied to EDUs and the amount of money you can collect. So from our position, it makes a lot of sense. Hopefully the board will agree. We are, headlong into the budget process right now. At this point, June 14th, which is your first meeting in June, we will have the budget workshop. Typically, we've done that at 6 p.m., the hour before. And then if it goes over, we just push back our council meeting at that time. And then we are currently scheduled to have that approval on the 28th of June. still trying to figure out what the state is going to do with VLFBs, and that's COP funding. If that is not extended before June 30th, we stand to lose about $115,000 that they're used for our police department. I've been talking to a few other cities. You know, we looked at and we ordered and initiated the process for our LLDs, our landscape and lighting districts. We are ahead of a lot of cities that don't have those. And one of my children's coaches is a Parks and Rec guy, and they're down to like 7 people in Manteca for like 50 parks because they don't have landscape and lighting districts to pay for those. So they're all general fund expenses. So, you know, it's a heavy expense. And so we're very fortunate that, you know, the city did a good job and was very diligent. Now we got 15 different zones that help pay for that, and then we're able to contract that service out and get it done at a very reasonable rate. And City of Modesto, someone who was just recently telling me that they got a park in their neighborhood that's brown, not even maintaining it. So that's not happening here in Newman. So you know, the council should be commended on that. And then lastly, everything is moving forward towards conclusion of the SCM litigation. I believe the 16th of May is our 30-day period, and then they have 10 days to dismiss their lawsuit from them. So we'll be getting out a letter to them shortly and just saying, hey, 30 days is up. At this point in time, the appeals are not forthcoming, and you have 10 days to drop the lawsuit. So with that, that's all that I had at this time.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions for Michael? Thank you. And we're going Sacrament on the 22nd?
June?
Oh, wait.
Yeah, it's not till June.
Yep, June.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Staff, who's first? Chief.
Good evening again, Mayor, council members. April 16th, we haven't had a meeting since then, but we held a safety fair at Sherman Park with the partnership of State Farm. It was a great event. The fire department was out there, EMS was out there. We did 2 canine demos. The Newman Canine Association provided lunch for everybody, cooked some hot dogs and chips and sodas. It was a great event. Then last weekend, Saturday, I went to the movie night in the park. I don't know if anybody else attended, but that was a great event. It's my first one that I was able to go to. It's a lot of fun. Stephanie House should be thanked for the hard work that I saw our staff out there. Stephanie was out there selling glow bracelets. It was a great event. It was the kids loved it. Another event coming up is a martial arts tournament, which will be the 14th at YOLO. We will be out there for their break at noon. The Canine Association will be putting on a canine demo for everybody if you guys want to come out and watch some good martial arts.
When is it?
The 14th, this Saturday. So the Fighting Dragons, I believe, is the club that is putting it on. This is their 2nd year, and apparently it was a good turnout last year. I wasn't able to make it, so we'll be out there this year and rooting them on after T-ball, that is. Got to coach T-ball first. Then May 21st, right before the Plaza Grand opening, if you have a pet, bring them to Pioneer Park. It'll be our low-cost animal clinic from 9 to noon, I believe. And you can get your animals licensed, vaccinated, and buy a voucher if you need to get them spayed or neutered. And I would also like to thank Garner and his staff for their hard work in our back lot, replacing their water line and the concrete. It looks good, and we'll be able to park on it soon, so we'll be able to get our patrol cars out of the front. Be happy to answer any questions if you guys have any.
Any questions of the chief? Thank you, sir. Garner, Lou, Stephanie?
A little more information on the Plaza Grand opening, so we're kind of getting things wrapped together. I would like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for really being very helpful as a partner on this event. And we're kind of getting things together. We will have the live band on the stage. There are going to be some ceremonial matters that will happen in the beginning. We'll have the live band start up, but the most important part is come on out and enjoy the food. You know, we're going to have $1 hot dog meals and $2 hamburger meals, and we hope to see lots of people out there and taking a part in the event and socializing. Next thing I have on the agenda for you is S&T Street construction project. It's well underway. The demolition, the tree removal went very well. Grover did a very good job of making sure every resident was taken care of, the trees were cleaned up and removed quickly, and the streets were taken care of. Now they're doing the demolition on the curb and gutter and the paving, and tomorrow the contractor will be in starting to replace the curb and gutter in that area. So they're moving along diligently, and we haven't had any complaints of any substantial nature other than wanting the tree removed sooner than later. So that project's progressing very well. Also, city staff would like to take this opportunity to thank the Daisies. They came out last week and planted flowers on Main Street and the tree wells. In recognition of the grand opening that's coming up, they planted red, white, and blue daisies down through the tree wells right there in the block in front of Main Street on both sides of it. And I was out there to help out a little bit and to see how it went, and it was very cute watching all the little daisies out there doing it. So we'd like to thank them for their planting of the flowers. And that's all I have. If you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer them.
Any questions, Gardner? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Stephanie? Lou? Wow, okay. Go to council members. Don?
Just a couple of quick things. Just for your information, as you know, the council asked me to be on the California League of Cities on the executive board and go to their meetings, and they keep canceling them because they can't get any support. Out of 44 members, 9 responded this last time. And so, Ed, if you could, at the mayor's meeting, at least in Stanislaus County, push that a little bit, because, we got all that stuff going up on as far as budgeting and everything else. I'll be meeting, not this week, but next week with 3, one state assembly member and 2 senators during the league days up there and they're gonna be talking about the COPS funding and some other stuff. So that should be interesting, but we need to make sure that somehow we stay connected with all of this stuff, and not, we're the only region that apparently isn't really heavily involved as far as the league. So we need to kind of, if you can kind of push that from your side.
I'll be meeting with them tomorrow.
And other than that, I enjoyed this HDL. I just want to know how we got 991% return on her. I want to know how they did that so I can start doing that too. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Roberta?
I don't have anything tonight.
Nick?
Nothing tonight.
Bob?
Nothing tonight.
Wow. And I don't have anything. So we'll adjourn to closed session. It's conference with labor negotiator, operating engineers, local number 3, miscellaneous, bargaining unit, under government code 54957.6. B is public employee personnel evaluation, city manager. So far the longest tenure city manager.
Yeah. Thanks, Jim.
Government code 54957.6.
It is one of my cities, though.
Yeah. We're adjourned.